session so that people, because I still have 36 students, or everybody has not joined. I think people take leverage of joining late, and they should not, because everybody else is here and we are trying to have uh, a conversation together. So I think everybody was here, but because of poor network connection or something, they missed it out. So let's talk about the class for today. I'm going to share my presentation, and I'm going to also switch off my video so that you guys are only seeing the presentation. Can you see the slide? Can somebody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It says design thinking 6.
So design
Design
thinking.
for
Okay, I was just checking if you are seeing the slide. Okay, so this is the slide, design thinking 4, and we have spoken yesterday about the basic, which is a very effective technique, brainstorm. It's been given to us by evolution when communities started forming in human beings. You have seen panchayat, you have seen, people in tribes. Everybody comes together to give their ideas. To if there is any problem, people will come together in communities, and they would the leaders will provide opportunity to everyone to give their suggestions or point of views or ideas. So this is a basic, but and since it has worked so good, it is carried over, and this is one of the quickest way of doing it. Then thinking out of the box. Sometimes we are supposed to think out of the box. We are uh, when you'll start working, or even when you're doing assignments, or some jury will say, okay, your idea was great, but I didn't see anything out of the box. And then you will see somebody in your class, or a peer, or a designer, or somebody whom you follow, and you say, yeah, how do they think out of the box all the time? Do are they are their brains specially calibrated, or what is so special with them? So I'm going to give you a technique today which is going to help you in thinking out of the box. But before going to that technique, let's hear out usually what happens when people are what I just want to hear from all of you. What do you think defines the box? What is a box? And when we define the box, then only we can define that what is actually outside the box thinking. So what do you think is defines the box?
so I think the box is a space which is defined by pre-existing ideas and
Yeah,
something we consider the norm,
yeah,
something we've seen before, we've experienced before, something that doesn't challenge our beliefs.
yeah. Norm being something that's been done before. A very norm thing that people just take that. Okay, this is something that has been done. Yeah. What more? Yeah. What defines a box?
I
So
think something very,
technology, because
So the
yeah, go
Wait,
ahead.
one person at a time. Somebody said technology. Yeah. So why
yes,
technology?
sir. So because things which don't exist now, we don't think about them. So this is a kind of box for us.
Okay. Okay. All the things which are not existing right now, are you saying that? And the things that are existing, that creates the box?
So like for technology, there
Yeah.
are some things we can imagine, but they don't exist. So we just put off that idea. So that is like a limitation for us.
No, no, no. I'm not talking about limitation. See, when we say think outside the box, means what is that box? I mean, when you know what is that box, then only you can do something which is outside that box. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So from technology, just can you expand on your perspective? That how are you defining? I mean, how would someone judge if your idea is inside the box or outside the box. That means that box means something.
Sir, sir, I agree. Like, I was wrong. I thought like technology would be something would that would be a limitation of creating ideas outside the box. Like, we have something we can imagine, which is weird, which does not exist. But
हाँ,
technology is kind of a barrier to create that thing. Uh,
no, but टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से तो बहुत आउटसाइड द बॉक्स थिंकिंग हो रही है, बहुत ज्यादा. टेक्नोलॉजी इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट accelerator of thinking outside the box, because now you have an augmented brain, and it is also generating so many thoughts which from human minds maybe what's not possible. So
is
टेक्नोलॉजी भी कर रहा है. अगर मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि ये तुम्हारे सामने अगर कोई चीज आए तो तुम्हें कैसे पता चलेगा this is inside the box or outside the box? Why would you say that, oh, your idea is outside the box? That means there is something that defines the box. So what is it?
so it's basically our thoughts, I guess. Uh,
Basically, these are your thoughts. Yes, yeah, these are your thoughts. Yes, definitely. Your thoughts
because
makes the box.
yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that the box, something what we say is that is outside the box is that um, when we present something and the other person thinks that, oh, how did not think about this, like how I couldn't think this way about this particular thing.
Yes, yes. So
That
that is the impact it has on people when they
yeah,
look at it. Say, oh, why this idea didn't come to me? It
yes.
came from somebody else. Yes,
So
and
the
that for that person, those ideas that were with that person, that defines the box. Because anything which is coming, which was not pre-existing in his mind, it looks like it is outside the box, right? Are you trying to say that?
yes, sir, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so also I feel like ideas that when you think in a particular direction, something that comes very easily or very naturally to you, that makes
Mm.
the box. And when you put in
Yeah.
effort to gain more
Yeah.
perspective on existing, that is, I think, outside the box.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. That's why people spend 4 years in learning processes, because the first thought that comes in, and your brain will say, oh, I have not seen it before. This is unique, and people would be mesmerized when I talk about this idea. The first thought, because
That's
brain
why
doesn't want to work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Great.
why I remember. That's why I remember I read somewhere. If you think your first idea is great, then definitely make a second idea, because you will, when you think more on it and when you try to go out of your way to
Yeah.
innovate that, you'll obviously
Yeah.
come up with something better.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, got that. So one way is to look at that all the pre-existing ideas might create a box, and whenever you see something new that you have not, which you thought that you couldn't have create yourself, or when your all the thoughts that are just the first thoughts of the brain, which are like, or very obvious thoughts, they also might look like they are inside the box. You have not done enough research, you have not done enough analysis, you have not maybe combined some different concepts together to create an idea, and you'll say, oh my goodness, this is so out of the box. So maybe those thought processes, those easy thinking solutions might look like they are inside the box, right? And then and then easy thinking, the ideas, the easy thoughts that comes to us, they also comes to us because they all belong, they come in a very comforting zone. That, okay, I was given this problem, or I've identified this problem, and this is the solution that can happen, because in that solution maybe it is easily feasible, maybe the challenge is very less, maybe it looks like it can tick out a lot of the criterias to solve the problem. A lot of things can happen there. And we have also not built up on the idea. Yesterday, when we spoke on the brainstorming, when somebody gave an idea, you started building on it, right? You're building on it, and then somebody third person will start build on it, on that idea. That okay, hey, this is a great combination. Let me add this. Ye kaisa rahega? And then the final idea that comes in, maybe it looks like it's out of the box idea because there is an idea that came naturally to you, but that naturally coming idea must have come to a lot of people. But then you start working on it, and then you start creating something, working on that idea. And when you start working on that idea, or when you start challenging that idea, like you become your own critique, that okay, looks like a great idea, but this is not going to solve this. This is not going to solve this. Maybe people have used this before. Let me research. And then you research, and then you see that okay, it was done uh, before, and it had these shortfalls. So a lot of things. So those are the things that create the idea. Things that are already existing, things that people know, things that are obvious, things that naturally comes to us, things like those. They all look like, and whenever we see out of the box idea, we know that that person has really worked hard on that idea, isn't it, guys? Do you get that feeling that person has really worked hard on that idea?
Yes, sir.
It's not that like a natural thing that would have come. We forget that, and that creates supremacy of that person. So so let's look at this man. He created phonograph, motion picture camera, electric bulb. Who's this guy? Anybody can guess?
Thomas Edison.
Yes, definitely.
Thomas
And
Alva Edison.
more than the electric bulb, he created the motion picture camera. Can you imagine that? The biggest tool for the biggest kind of art that human beings can go through, that is cinema. And this guy is one of the pioneers of creating the tool, because at one point of time there were people who were going to uh, they were getting entertained by musicians. At one time, people were getting entertained by singers. And at one time, people used to go to see drawing, painting exhibitions. And if you put all those art together, you have a movie or a cinema, because you are singing there, you are doing theater there, there is music, there is basically all the arts. When you put together, it becomes a movie. And this guy is obviously he's an inventor of such things. So let's look at what he says, that how did he innovated things, because he's an inventor, because the things were not existing before, and all the ideas that he was getting were out of the box idea. Nobody at that point of time was thinking, because everybody was good with their lamps, by those burning lamps. This guy thought that, okay, can I use electricity and make something? So that is out of the box idea, which was not pre-existing, which was not easy. It had a lot of out of the box character. So let's see what he's saying. He's saying to invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. What does this mean? I mean, any reflection? What does this mean? I mean, such a great guy talking about. Yeah. What are you saying?
Materials and like any resources.
Yeah, you need. I mean, can you relate if you have a lot of material around and you need a good idea, a good imagination, and a pile of junk? What does that mean? Any sharing?
So
It means
Yeah.
so
it
when
means
he
that
is
for a
referring the
good
pile of junk,
Yeah, I think two people were
so
talking, so I couldn't comprehend. Yeah,
so
tell me.
it means that for the product or a good design or anything like that, we need good ideas for that. And for good ideas, we need a lot of brainstorming and lot of ideas that we discard. And after thinking a lot about lot of ideas, then we can decide whether that idea will work or not.
Wow, wow. Yeah, so yeah, you bang on. So, a pile of junk, a lot of things that we discard because junk is those things that we actually discard. So here he's talking about imagination and all those thoughts that our brain judges. Our brain judges and say, oh, ye nahi ho sakta, ye nahi ho sakta, this is bekar, this is not good enough. Ye nahi. Our brain will keep on discarding those ideas. And when you put all those ideas together, and when you relook at every idea again, maybe there is a possibility that something comes out. And this guy used that. So now let's elaborate on this. Let's elaborate. So there is a temporary mental disease that human beings experience when they are in a group. Okay, I'm going to ask you at the next slide. I'm going to ask you that what is this temporary mental disease? When there is a class discussion or any situation, you are sitting somewhere and there is a conversation going on, and when someone calls for new ideas, what happens is at first no one wants to say anything. People are quiet. Nobody wants to say anything. Same happens with this module also. Nobody wants to say. People want to wait, that okay, let's see what others are saying, then maybe building up that whole idea, all that thing. A lot of time, we think that our ideas are not that great, that they bottle up whatever they are thinking. They just bottle up. Sometimes the pressure of saying something intelligent is overwhelming that the brain stops generating any ideas, right? uh, have you have you experienced this ever? And I want everybody to answer. Have you like experienced this? You can put your things in the chat box. You can say yes or no. have
So
have you
many times.
gone many times? Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yes, so
Yes.
Anybody who's not gone through this situation, because I've gone through it like many times in last 40 years. So anybody who has not gone through this, then it'll make the conversation easier, because I want to see, because exceptions are always there. Anybody who has not gone through this can just kindly share that I've never felt this.
So I've never felt.
Okay, so there is one person who has never felt this. Yeah. And every time there is a conversation and they're sharing, you don't stop your ideas and you always share,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Huh? And you're not scared that what people will say
Yes,
or whatever.
yes.
Great,
I am
great,
really
great. So,
confident about my ideas.
super, super. I mean, that is the state I want to reach. And great. I'm doing a lot of leadership training and different courses to reach to that state, but you have it. So congratulations. I'll speak to you more, so that I'll start idolizing you now. So this this situation. I mean, I couldn't see your name. So what's your name?
Anuj, sir.
What?
Anuj.
Huh? Anuj.
Anuj.
Anuj. So
Yes, sir.
so let's say Anuj does not have this and I have this, and a lot of people they agree that they have also experienced this, that whenever they're called for ideas, they wait, or they think, or they start bottling up. I do that. So this situation is termed as, it's termed as mental constipation. It is a term, right? It is a term, and which people go through, that whenever they're in a group and there are some people who are more dominating, or there are some people who are stereotypical intelligent, or some people who are more read, or some people who are considered to be more intelligent, and then you're all sitting in a group and you'll say ki acha chhod, I'm not going to say this because last time I said people were laughing, and your brain is obviously his job is to create ideas. वो तो ideas बना रहा है, but you would stop it. You would stop it. It's like constipation. It's not just coming out. And the whole idea of what people will think, or is it great enough, or nahi nahi nahi, ये तो हर कोई, ये तो idea सबके दिमाग में आया होगा. Yeah, all those conversations will happen, and you would stop your brain to stop sharing that idea, right? And this whole stopping the sharing of ideas, it comes under the mental constipation. And I keep on going through this, and especially when you go to a new job, like from designing, when I shifted to academics, and all these big professors are sitting there, people who have 30 years of teaching or 25 years of teaching, and all those things happening there. And when obviously from that perspective, I in those conversations I will keep quiet, and in the end I'll think कि यार ये तो कुछ अच्छा कोई idea आया ही नहीं. I wish I could have spoken, and whenever there is a conversation where industry is concerned, where business is concerned, where there I think I can speak more because I'm more informed about that. Wherever there is a industry based, any process is required, then I think I have better ideas. But in some situations I really feel this, right? So this mental constipation, this connects to what Edison was doing. He did not let any idea, he did not stop himself from thinking. And for him, every idea, whichever idea is coming, he used to love all these ideas. Like Anuj might be the reincarnation of Edison, we don't know. Loved all this idea and really treated every idea, if it was possible, not possible, as real key currency, not like pile of junk. And in his quote, he's talking about that junk because our brain disregards it, the brain discards it. So all those things, right? So so let's look at this. Everybody has said that they have felt the same, including me, barring one. So this whole mental constipation happens. So now there is an advanced technique that can, so all of us, we go through this, most of us, not all of us, because we have people here who are not there. Some of us, or most of us, we go through that. So there is a technique that is developed for, like, it exists for almost 60 years now. Big corporates of the world, they use this technique in their corporation. When people are doing brainstorming, they use this technique. And so this technique actually ensures that mental constipation is never responsible for keeping a breakthrough idea from getting out in open. At least it should get out in open. Whatever response would be there is a different thing. So a breakthrough idea. So highly effective method, that is also a highly effective method that you can use to get the creative juices flowing. A lot of people, if you use this, people start feel a little free to think. Their creative juices start flowing, and and also those people who are not so confident, even they start engaging with the whole brainstorming session. So people like me, when I'm sitting with all these mature professors, if they use this technique, then I am the first one to start speaking my ideas. So this idea has really worked with corporation, with people, and it is also an ice-breaking style technique. A lot of time when there are unknown people in a group, you don't know them, so you don't have that comfort of going out and speaking. So this is also like ice-breaking style technique. And oh yeah, so this has been pasted again, sorry for that. So this is called worst possible idea. Now this is a creative brainstorm technique. Here you act like all of you are Edison. You are whatever idea is coming to you. Most of the time, the facilitator is actually motivating people to produce the silliest idea, the craziest idea, the weirdest, the bad, terrible, illegal. They are asking you to do that. They're not asking you to think of, oh, that will be. No, they're saying, go wild, go crazy, you know, really produce, ideas that would not, which you think people will laugh, which you think people will dump, which you think people will think you are stupid. They are going to, discuss those. They will create an environment where they are going to ask you to please create those ideas, right? Now, this works with me always. Whenever people say that, okay, go mad, go crazy, and that is the time my brain is not stopping. My brain is, is plugged in again, and it's saying, okay, यहाँ पर तो there is no, nobody is going to laugh, and people are not laughing at my idea. Then there is something wrong with my idea, and believe me, my brain is really accustomed or customized to make things that will sound stupid, things that would sound humorous. So this is the worst possible idea. So let's look at some case studies so that we understand how corporations are using this. So this is Chanel office. Chanel supposed to be the highest in any luxury brand. We know it for its sophistication. We know it for the luxury products that they make. The elegance that is always associated with this brand. All those things are come with Chanel. I hope everybody knows about Chanel. Anybody who does not know about Chanel luxury brand? Yeah. Okay, you guys know. Good. So when they sit for their design thinking, they use the worst idea possible technique. So all these mega people, these mammoth designers who are like the best in the industry, they come together and they really create an environment where they really are looking for worst idea possible, because they want to innovate things. And if you are thinking in your comfortable zone, if you are thinking from that perspective that nobody should laugh on me, those innovative ideas will never come out in the open. So let's see what kind of product innovation they have done through their worst idea possible technique. And when I'm saying this, try to imagine the kind of people who would be there in the design team of Chanel, right? The best, studied from the best college, having the best experience, and really having a flair, a panache in their life. Then let's look at how there is a conversation going on that, okay, what can we innovate? This is Chanel. Chanel came with the idea of condoms. Now understand this. People are sitting, and it's a luxury company, and people are talking about, okay, what can we do in purses? Can we include this new feature in the new purses that we are launching? Or what can we do in shoe designing? Or what can we do in jacket designing? And somebody says, when they are put inside a worst idea possible, somebody says, okay, let's create condoms. Now, if it was a normal brainstorming, obviously facilitator would have asked them that, okay, why are you going out of the way? But when it is a worst idea possible meeting, brainstorming happening, you are supposed to say things which are contrary, which are silly, which are not around the norm of that company. And you say, okay. And so we have two luxury brands here. One is Chanel and the other is Ralph Lauren. So both the companies, they are not supposed to make condoms, but they made cigarettes. You have Chanel cigarettes. So somebody said, okay, why don't we make cigarettes? It's like, acha, Chanel is not supposed to make cigarettes. It's not a tobacco company. It's not known for making cigarettes. But somebody said, let's make cigarettes, and they love that idea, and they actually manufacture cigarettes. Boomerang. ये मोगली का हथियार है. Boomerang. Somebody said, oh, let's create a boomerang, and they created a boomerang of Chanel, right? Chanel does not create hunting gear, but somebody said in that, and they started looking at that idea later, and then said, okay, that's a great thing. Like, it's exotic, it's an ancient exotic instrument. Let's make that, right? And otherwise, in a normal brainstorming, this would have never happened. So yeah, pardon me.
So I was saying that first to like make these products like something out of the blue, something that's not based on your typical products, you have to build your brand, right? I mean, you just can't start making such products when you don't have a proper idea towards your brand.
Yeah. See, if you have not set the box for your brand, then these will not be called out of the box ideas, right? If your brand produces everything, then this will not be an out of the box idea. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You have streamlined your brand where people have a perception that what Chanel brand is all about. It's not about how old is your brand or have it got established or not. But when I'm talking about Chanel, there is a certain box that you can think when everybody is sitting and giving their ideas. It would pretty much be inside the box idea that, okay, how can we do our show better? How can we do, how can we improvise our product line, or how can we improvise this? Things would be just inside that box. And then when you are doing this, when you are going, disrupting your own product line, your own brand perception, that can only happen when, you've been put there. But what you're saying is correct, that until and unless you have not, you have not established your brand, and by brand establishment, we also are intending to say that, inferring to say that, people have a certain brand perception about a certain brand, right? So it's like that. But yeah, what you're saying is correct. But this is in this context that there is a box which we can think, and then suddenly somebody says this, and people at that point of, if it was a normal brainstorming, people would have laughed कि यार ये सडनली हम शो की बात कर रहे हैं, अच्छा कैसे करना है, ये बीच में कह रहा है बूमरैंग बना देते हैं, ये बीच में कह रहे हैं सिगरेट बना देते हैं, ये बीच में कह रहा है कि कॉन्डम्स बना देते हैं, ये कैसे? So there is a different technique that's been used in this brainstorming session. Okay, a hoop bag, and how to nobody is going to carry this bag, but it's been shown on RAM. So how somebody is just saying that, okay, why can't we get inspired by a hula hoop, and then can we create a bag out of it? Of course, from functionality, from mass acceptability, maybe this bag is not going to work, but magazines are going to put that in the magazine. People are going to stop to see why they have created such a silly thing. They're going to stop. If you are, you have gone abroad and you have gone inside a store, and there you see that there are cigarettes which are Chanel cigarettes, you will suddenly you'll stop, and you would think about the brand that, okay, they are creating cigarettes. And of course, we know that there would be a luxury feeling, the cigarettes would be very expensive, or the condoms. You go to a 5-star hotel, and there is a cabinet which has all those luxury items there, and there is a box of Chanel condoms. They're like, oh my goodness, the experience have tripled seeing that. So all those things comes later, but you would really think that, okay, Chanel is making condoms, and And those kind of things keep a brand alive also, alive in conversation, that people start talking to each other that, okay, in that presentation I saw Chanel making one. And then again, somebody has taken name of that brand. So yes, it works later. So, guess this company, which is making body bags. This company is making body bags for people. Can you guess which company is this?
North Face.
Oh, North Face. Yeah, this is Prada. Prada is making body bags for corpses, right? So let me just put a video here.
They say first impressions last a lifetime. But last impressions last an eternity. Timeless beauty, everlasting elegance. At the intersection of heaven and earth, where comfort meets necessity, there is innovation. Fashion wants to die for. The all-new Prada body bag. It's the last bag you'll ever need. Don't be caught dead without one. Prada.
Okay, so we are seeing a Prada body bag. Now they have done a commercial and it went into controversy. People started talking about Prada again. All those things they got. But imagine, that the kind of design team who is sitting and who is brainstorming, what would be the environment there? Where people would be asked to think things which are silly. They would be asked to things which are, not in the norm of Prada. They should be asked. And then somebody says, okay, can we make, body bags? I say, okay, that's a great idea. And then somebody says, oh, can we make this? Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, somebody says, okay, can we make, this? And it's, oh, that's a great idea. And all of those ideas has nothing to do with whatever Prada has done before, right? And this is how you disrupt your product line. This is how you create your imagery again. So there's a lot that goes in, right? So guess what are these? Can you guys guess what are these things?
Coffins.
Coffins.
Coffins, yeah? So these are coffins, because these are modern age coffins. So there are some sculptors who thought that, okay, let me do my design on the coffins. That would be the last thing anybody would want to work on, but they are working on this. We have screen print, we have printed coffins, right? You want to print somebody's dying, and then you can see that, there is like a luxury coffin here, and, which actually looks like you have put somebody to, somebody has gone to a hotel and they're staying there. And you have a perfect picture of yours, which you always imagine. It's like, it can be a family picture, whatever. People are working on that. Nobody thought of that before. A coffin was a black box before this. But there are some designers who thought, okay, let's create that. And that can only happen if you are able to speak in an environment where people are not going to make fun of you when you give a breakthrough idea. And disruption ऐसे ही होते हैं, disruption ऐसे ही होते हैं. इसीलिए हमें Steve Jobs, we love Steve Jobs so much, because he was the person who will say, okay, can we have a phone which does not have any buttons? And people are like, looking at each other, the whole team, कि ये पागल हो गया क्या, ये आज भी यार ये दारू पी के आया है. All those things are happening. And then, and the whole world changes because of somebody who just said, can we have things without buttons? Suddenly this Apple, this whole app companies came in, everything now right now is done on all the changes that people are seeing in their life is because of somebody who thought that let's remove the buttons from the phone, because people are if people are having spondylitis disease is because they're always looking at the phone. If they're feeling that they're not able to connect with people because they're looking at the phone, if people are thinking that okay, I was talking to that person and he started checking his phone, that would be because somebody thought that the buttons should be taken off. If the kids, they don't want toys because somebody thought that, it will have great effect on people. When these things would have been introduced, there would be a lot of people who earn a lot of money and they want to even go in style, right? The Prada body bag, but the idea generation, that is the most important thing. But do you keep, and definitely, do you think that these guys, when they were talking, they were not experiencing mental constipation? I'm asking. Do you think they were not experiencing mental constipation? I was asking the
They
class,
would
do you, pardon me?
they would be.
They
God's
wouldn't
just
be. No, they wouldn't be. Because that whole idea of worst possible idea is that you let anything that is coming to your head out and you will not be judged for it, and all the breakthrough ideas come from there, right? So you are actually supposed to let go of mental constipation, and if you are stopping any idea based on your own judgment of that space, you would be asked again that okay, why are you not sharing anything? Are please bolo, acha, you don't want to talk in front of people, just write it down, and then you write down that idea and give, if you are suffering from that mental constipation. Because every time in meetings where we are doing worst possible ideas, that is the time my brain is most active, because I know now, I can think, I can imagine things, I can imagine impossible things, I can imagine things that cannot be, that is not possible. And ये सब मैं ही सोच रहा हूँ कि ये possible नहीं होगा, ये नहीं होगा, ये नहीं होगा, मैं खुद ही सोच रहा हूँ. अब ये सोचो कि there are 3 designers who are sitting in that Prada meeting, and 3 of them, they are inspired to say that can we make luxury body bags. और 2 जने इतने mental constipation में है कि वो बोल ही नहीं पाए. And one guy, he says, hey, let's make body bags. तो सबका ध्यान तो उसी के पर गया ना कि उन 10 डिजाइनर्स में से एक डिजाइनर है जो हर बार who gives crazy ideas, right? And everybody else then will feel कि अरे यार सारा तो limelight यही ले जाता है हर बार. मगर वो ऐसा नहीं है कि only he can think or she can think out of the box. Everybody can think out of the box. I mean, that's what we were doing since we were a kid. तुम्हारी मम्मी कोई चीज छुपा दे, तुम उसको ढूंढ ही लोगे. तुम्हारे रीच से बाहर हो, you will connect things, you will look at things, you will put those things together and you'll get the thing. Your phone gets confiscated, you will look at things, how you can communicate with people. There would be so many ways to communicate with people. So तो वो आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स, मम्मी के लिए तो बॉक्स यही है ना कि ओ मैंने तो उसका फोन ले लिया, अब ये पड़ेगी, वो उनके लिए बॉक्स है. और तुम उसको आराम से you can go on whatever way to communicate with people. So we've been doing that. पर हम लोग mental constipation की वजह से जब सच में there is a requirement to give crazy or breakthrough ideas, we stop it because our brain says नहीं अभी नहीं, पिछली बार भी लोग हंसे थे, लोग ना मेरे को सब बेवकूफ समझते हैं, मेरे को तो किसी ने पिछली बार तो बॉस ने सबके सामने हंसने लग गया था कि यार आई थिंक यू शुड नॉट बी इनवाइटेड व्हाटएवर, एंड यू डोंट. ये क्योंकि एक नॉर्मल टेंडेंसी है सबकी, they have created a worst idea possible brainstorming technique. Okay, so this is your activity 1 for assignment 2. assignment 2. Now assignment 1 is over. This is activity 1. It has everything that you did in the last assignment of assignment 1, last activity of assignment 1, which you did yesterday. You have to do the same in your same group. Call each other up, sit down, and start making. Take a topic, take a problem statement, and then think of the worst idea, that the silliest, craziest, illegal idea that human beings cannot achieve. Try to create those ideas, and everybody has to pamper other, so that nobody is feeling the mental constipation. So your time starts now, and call each other up. If you have any problem here in understanding this, you can ask me. Yeah, any problem is understanding this? So all right, so anything you want to ask, or can I conclude the class now?